The idea of zombies has fascinated and terrified audiences for decades. But did you know that Marvel legend Stan Lee himself found the whole concept fundamentally flawed? This surprising perspective sheds new light on the popular Marvel Zombies series and challenges how we think about the undead in superhero stories. But here's where it gets controversial. What if zombies weren't the mindless, brain-eating monsters we've come to expect? What if they were actually relieved to be alive again? The Disney Plus animated miniseries Marvel Zombies dives into a parallel universe where many familiar Marvel Cinematic Universe heroes exist, but with a gruesome twist. Most of them have turned into zombies. This show is adapted from the 2005 comic book series created by Mark Millar, Greg Land, and Robert Kirkman, which quickly became a fan favorite. The success of the original comics led to numerous sequels and even wild crossover events, such as Marvel Zombies vs. the Army of Darkness, which intriguingly blends Marvel's undead heroes with the cult classic 1992 horror comedy Evil Dead, directed by Sam Raimi. Another spin-off, Marvel Zombies Supreme, takes the zombie narrative even further by imagining a parallel world where zombie Nazis won World War II, adding a dark and twisted historical angle to the Undead saga. However, it's important to understand that the zombie virus in the Marvel Zombies universe isn't your typical brain-hungry infection seen in most zombie films. While these Marvel zombies do crave human flesh and become feral when hungry, they actually revert to their normal, non-zombie personalities after eating, though their bodies remain in a state of decay. This unique twist adds complexity to the characters and the story, making the zombies more than just mindless monsters. Back in 2015, Stan Lee, who was then retired from active involvement with Marvel Comics, shared his thoughts on zombies during an interview with Seattle Magazine. When asked if Marvel would ever create a straightforward zombie superhero, Lee seemed to have forgotten, or perhaps was unaware, that Marvel had already explored zombie-themed comics extensively by that time. Given his retirement, this lapse was understandable. What's truly fascinating is Lee's candid admission that he struggled with the very idea of zombies. He believed that if someone came back to life, they would be so thrilled to be alive again that they wouldn't be focused on devouring brains or attacking others. Instead, they'd be celebrating their return to life. As Lee put it, "I figure that whole concept is wrong, because I think if anyone was dead and came back to life, he'd be so happy he's living again. He wouldn't want to kill anyone. He'd want to party. Imagine a zombie who just wants to throw a party instead of causing chaos." It's a fun and refreshing take that challenges the traditional horror trope. Lee's perspective invites us to rethink the motivations of the undead. If a resurrected person retained enough awareness to appreciate their second chance at life, wouldn't their instinct be relief and joy rather than violence? Of course, the classic hunger for human flesh complicates this idea, but it's a thought-provoking angle nonetheless. Interestingly, Lee didn't directly address the many undead characters that have appeared throughout Marvel's history. In fact, he himself created a character named Zombie, Simon Garth, back in 1953 for Atlas Comics, Marvel's predecessor. This character was later revived under the Marvel banner in 1973. Additionally, Marvel introduced Dead Girl in 2001, a mutant who was part zombie and part ghost, blending supernatural elements with the undead theme. Marvel's extensive catalog is filled with zombie and undead characters, not to mention countless superheroes who have died and been mysteriously resurrected over the years. So while Lee may not have been involved in the Marvel Zombies comic series, he was certainly no stranger to the concept of zombies within the Marvel universe. This raises an intriguing question. Should zombies in superhero stories be portrayed as mindless monsters? Or could they be more complex beings with emotions and desires? Stan Lee's unconventional take challenges the status quo and opens the door for fresh storytelling possibilities. What do you think? Are zombies doomed to be relentless killers, Or could they surprise us with a more human side? Share your thoughts and join the conversation below.